Stop. Before you scroll into another day of comfortable lies, look at the world as it truly is, not as you wish it to be. You are told that goodness is a shield, that kindness secures safety, generosity buys loyalty, and honesty earns respect. You are told that if your heart is pure, the world will be fair. You are told that sacrifice is a key that opens every door. Those who taught you this were not wise. They were naive, or worse, they were beneficiaries of your obedience. In the marketplace of power, unguarded goodness is an unlocked register. It signals your predictability. It tells wolves where to bite. It teaches opportunists to come again tomorrow. Machiavelli did not hate virtue. He distrusted sentimentality. He studied courts where gentle rulers were swallowed by harder men. He watched benefactors strangled by the hands they fed. He understood that goodness, when it is blind, becomes bait. If your answer is always yes, your value dissolves into background noise. The favor turns into a duty. The helper becomes a servant. And the servant is never promoted. You may be praised, but praise is a perfume, sweet in the air and gone in a moment. What remains is your position, your leverage, your ability to say no and be respected for it. This is why the applause you earn for generosity fades into silence, and then mutates into complaint. Human memory is ruled by adaptation. What once felt extraordinary becomes routine, and routine breeds entitlement. Your 10th act of help is invisible. Your first refusal is unforgettable. The ledger in people's minds is not fair. They will not catalogue your sacrifices with balance and nuance. They will remember the one boundary that inconvenienced them. This isn't cruelty. It is ordinary human nature. If you build your identity on pleasing others, you will become their utility, and utilities are used until they fail. So the wise do something different. They learn the art of the mask. All see what you seem, the old Florentine warned. Few touch what you are. The crowd judges by the eye, not by the hand. Wear the image of virtue without surrendering the will that governs it. Smile when it serves your position. Make hard decisions where only results can contradict you. Mercy is not a reflex. It is a tool. Kindness is not a compulsion. It is a signal. Strength, expressed rarely and decisively, gives kindness its teeth. A leader can be warm and still carry steel. The surgeon cuts to heal. If you fear looking harsh for a moment, you invite deeper harms that endure. Count your resources with arithmetic, not sentiment. Your time, attention, and endurance are coins in a finite purse. Spend them as an investor, not a gambler. If every hour is surrendered to other people's urgency, your own work starves. Starved work becomes resentment. Resentment becomes corrosion. Corrosion turns helpers into burdens. Souls who must be rescued because they forgot to rescue themselves. Order begins with self-command. He who would be obeyed must first rule his calendar. A yes given without calculation is a no to your future, and eventually, a no to those who depend on that future. This is why boundaries are not walls against goodness. They are the scaffolds that hold goodness high enough to be useful. When you decline a request that drains you, you are not betraying virtue, you are preserving its force. When you ration your availability, you preserve its value. Scarcity creates meaning. Abundance dissolves it. If you are always reachable, your presence becomes a commodity. But if you are accessed with intention, your presence becomes a signal that the matter is serious. The help is precious, and the outcome must be worthy. Let go of the fantasy of permanent gratitude. Gratitude is fruit. It ripens and spoils. Do not build your strategy on fruit. Build it on roots, on systems and standards that outlast a single season of thanks. The more consistently generous you are without conditions, the more invisible your generosity becomes. People adjust. They come to see the exceptional as normal, and the normal as owed. The helper becomes the automatic choice for every problem until the helper finally says, "Not this time." And then the room gasps, as if treason has been committed. Your past gifts vanish behind the single red flare of refusal. Do not curse this. Understand it. Adapt to it. Use it. Use virtue like a blade, not a banner. Decide where your goodness accomplishes something durable, where it multiplies competence, where it strengthens the backbone of an institution, where it teaches people to stand rather than lean. Help the right person at the right moment for the right reason. Do not spray gifts into the wind and call it rain. Choose your targets. When you say yes, say it fully. Deliver excellence that cannot be mistaken. When you say no, say it cleanly. This does not align with my priorities, or I don't have capacity, or that's not my role. You don't need to pose as a villain to decline a claim that was never legitimate. Boundaries are not cruelty, they are governance. Governance requires staging, not deceit but timing. The crowd wants comfort now. Leaders want improvement that lasts. If a hard word today prevents 10 soft failures tomorrow, speak it. If a hard line today prevents 10 quiet exploitations tomorrow, draw it. Nice is frictionless. Good is corrective. Nice avoids conflict. Good resolves it. Nice asks, will they like me? Good asks, will this actually make things better? The world does not live inside your intentions. It lives with the consequences of your actions. Judge yourself by effects. Did it build? Did it protect? Did it correct? Did it last? If not, you performed. If so, you governed. Govern also your image. Your reputation is a border, the line at which rumor, fear, respect, and hope meet. If the border is weak, trespass is constant. If the border is firm, your interior can be generous. This is why strength must appear before sweetness, or else sweetness will be devoured. The shepherd may be gentle with the flock, but it is the staff and the dog that keep the wolves away. If you cannot be both feared and loved, choose respect, because respect is love's guardrail. Without it, those who love you will climb over you to reach their convenience. Understand costs. Every yes has a silent price tag attached. Energy, time, attention, lost opportunity. Keep a ledger. If your day ends and you have donated yourself into emptiness, you will wake tomorrow as a debtor, borrowing from your focus, paying interest with your health, defaulting on your own ambitions. You cannot fund anyone's hope if you bankrupt your own. Put on your mask first. Build your strength first. Then your goodness can be heavy enough to matter. There is a temptation to dramatize this as a choice between light and dark. It is not. It is a choice between naive light that flickers out and disciplined light that burns steadily. Between pleasing everyone briefly and improving things truly. Between being known as nice and being remembered as necessary. History is not a scrapbook of sweet people. It is a record of those who created durable order, who protected the vulnerable by first becoming someone who could not be pushed over, who made judgments that were sometimes cold to the touch and warm in their outcomes. So, refine your practice. When you help, let it be the kind of help that reduces future dependence. When you teach people to carry their own weight. When you give in ways that outlast your presence. A system, a standard, a consequence that aligns effort with reward. Stop paying the ransom of everyone's discomfort. Start investing in conditions that make future ransoms unnecessary. Do not confuse performance of virtue with possession of it. The mask is a tool for navigating perception. The will beneath it is what determines reality. In social, speak with the calm of someone who does not need applause. In private, decide with the severity of someone who refuses chaos. You can be kind without being accessible on demand. You can be honest without being reckless with timing. You can be generous without being harvested. Those who insist that your goodness must be unguarded are telling you who benefits from your lack of guard. And yes, expect resistance. When you draw new lines, the first to complain will be those who profited from the absence of lines. They will call you selfish for refusing to be consumed. They will call you cold for refusing to be controlled. Accept the slander as the tax you pay for sovereignty. It will fade. Results will remain. Those who matter will adapt to your standards or fall away. Either outcome is cleaning. Ask yourself, quietly and honestly, who am I when my kindness is not praised? Who am I when I am forced to choose between pleasing and improving? Who am I when looking gentle will cause real harm and looking harsh will prevent it? In those moments, your character is revealed, not in the softness of your voice, but in the clarity of your aim. Aim at outcomes. Do not let your moral sense be kidnapped by optics. If a boundary today yields dignity tomorrow, hold it. If a difficult conversation today yields competence tomorrow, have it. If a refusal today preserves the energy you need for the work that will feed many, refuse. The world does not need more people who are agreeable and depleted. It needs more people who are disciplined and effective. Legacy is the luxury of survivors. You cannot lift others if you are flat on the ground. You cannot speak truth if you are gagged by those who prefer your silence. You cannot defend the weak if you have given away the sword that would have made your mercy enforceable. Strength first, then benevolence. Structure first, then sentiment. Standards first, then second chances. This is not the death of goodness. It is its protection, its weaponization, its maturity. So, choose. You can keep practicing blind goodness, the kind that depletes you, invites trespass, and props up the very people who will resent you when you eventually protect yourself. Or you can practice strategic goodness, the kind that is rare, visible, consequential, and backed by the possibility of thunder when necessary. Let your reputation whisper mercy and promise resolve. Be the fox that senses the trap. Be the lion that makes the trap irrelevant. Be the shepherd who keeps his flock not by pleading with wolves, but by making the cost of approach unacceptable. Your goodness is not your weakness. Untamed, it is. Disciplined, it becomes leverage. Guard your time like a fortress. Make generosity meaningful by making it selective. Make kindness unforgettable by pairing it with standards. Make honesty useful by delivering it with timing. Govern yourself, and you will govern outcomes. Govern outcomes, and you will be remembered. Not as the person who was always so nice, but as the person who made things better. Sometimes warmly, sometimes coldly, always deliberately. If this opened your eyes, step forward instead of falling back. Stop auditioning for approval. Start building conditions. Replace the hunger to be liked with the hunger to be effective. Let your no protect the yes that matters. Let your yes be so whole that it changes the room. Here is our lesson on the shocking cost of goodness. When you master strategic goodness, you will not become harder than you need to be. You will become exactly as hard as reality requires, and exactly as kind as your strength allows. In a world of wolves, do not be a sheep. Be a shepherd, one who protects not through weakness, but through wisdom, boundaries, and force held in reserve. And when the moment demands it, do not hesitate. If this truth challenged your view of the world, like the video. If you want more lessons that refuse comfortable lies, subscribe and ring the bell. And if someone you care about is burning out under the weight of their own kindness, share this with them. Master your goodness, and your goodness will begin to matter.